Hey there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies. Hope it's not too windy here. Today's video is about marketing in uncertain times. What do you need to do? What do you need to think about or handle or focus on when the times are so uncertain? You know, there's a lot. I don't know if you notice how uncertain it is, but of course, economies are crashing everywhere right now. Food shortages are looming. Shipping supply lines have been interrupted. The cost of everything getting more expensive. It's very hard to plan anything. And of course, there are a lot of responses that are needed and probably appropriate. Some people have been benefiting from government assistance, and hey, if you can get it, go for it. A lot of people have been starting to plant food and grow some food, and I think that's a real wise decision. So a lot of us are looking at all the preppers and thinking, man, they have something together. Maybe I should go talk to them. But in terms of our businesses, let me focus there. One thing I see happens to people when things get uncertain is people get desperate. And that desperation shows up as an over-promoting, pushing, a kind of needy energy, aggressive, forceful. Everything we know about consent and courtesy, often falls by the wayside. So desperation isn't the answer. I mean, in the short term, will it work? Short term, it might. But long term, it'll kill everything. People just avoid you. Another approach I see people take is becoming more deceptive. And that's understandable too. You think, well, I don't like these manipulative tactics, but they do seem to work, and I need the money tomorrow if I'm going to feed my family, so I'll get deceptive and I'll do these unethical tactics. So I'd like to give another alternative. Instead of just deleting your business, instead of getting desperate or getting deceptive, you go deeper. That's my approach. This is my thought. When things get uncertain, we need to go deeper, and deeper in a number of things. Deeper in our connections with people. Deeper in our commitment to our business and our consistency in how we engage in it, and also deeper in our clarity. And I suppose that's the part I most want to focus on. The clearer we are, the easier things are going to be. And when I say clarity, of course, I'm talking about niche. I'm talking about your point of view. I'm talking about your offers. All of that stuff, all of the fundamentals of business. When things get uncertain, we go deeper. That's the solution in my mind, or that's the one I'm offering up. We go deeper. We really dig into what is it we do? How do we do it? For whom do we do it? Where, when, and why do we do it? All those things, we go deep. All that work around niching we've been putting off, all those tough decisions that we've been putting off, we start to tend to them. The sales letter that's kind of half-assed, we really polish it up. That home page that you're not happy about, your whole website you're not happy about, you polish it up. That's the sustainable approach to uncertain times, is to go deeper. And instead of just going for new clients, of course, you deepen the connection with the people you already have. Knowing that the word of mouth will come from those relationships. We go deeper. So I just invite everyone to take a breath, just okay, things are getting crazy out there. I get it. It's very unsettling. And literally unsettling in that a lot of people are moving around now. So what's the answer? Well, short term you can get desperate, you can delete your business, you can get devious about it. But if you want a long-term sustainable fix, because your business is important to yourself and to the world, you have to engage in depth. And be willing for a time to trade some growth for depth. Growth of the business. I'm seeing all these trees around here. Instead of focusing on the branches so much, to tend to the roots. If those roots are strong, the branches will go higher. So, of course, it's always back and forth with those trees. Sometimes you got to get the branches higher to get the sunlight. But what I'm saying is deeper. go deeper in the roots. That seems to be the direction. When the winds of these uncertain times start blowing really heavy, those roots are what's going to keep you in place. And if you focus too much on the branches, it's just more for the wind to catch and knock you over when your roots aren't deep enough. So I invite you to reflect on, where do you need to go deeper? You probably already know in your business. Is it deepening your connections with your people? Is it deepening your commitment to your business and deciding this is not a hobby? This is going to be my full-time. This is going to be this is going to be a real business. Is it deepening your consistency in how you show up in the practice of marketing your business and not being so sporadic and haphazard and flailing about it, and developing systems and plans? That's the way you can go deeper. And is it going to be deeper in terms of your clarity about what you do? So those are some options to think about. Connection, commitment, and consistency, and clarity. Where do you need to deepen? And what support, importantly, do you need to deepen it? You may have friends who could support you. There could be a business coach you could hire. Of course, you can always book me for a puttering session if you'd like. I've got that membership that I do. But I got lots of other colleagues who do stuff. There's Mark Silver, George Cow, Rebecca Tracy. I could go on. There's tons of good people out there. What support do you need? And maybe it's not paid. There's already tons of free videos out there, articles, but sometimes we just don't dedicate the time to it. So what support do you need to deepen in those areas? You might even write them down, those 4, and just sit. In fact, I would formally invite you to do it. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Write down those 4, a quarter of a page each, and just meditate for a couple minutes on each. What do I need to do to deepen here, 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 and here? I promise you this. If you just do a 10% deepening on all 4 of those, you'd be amazed at what happens. If you were to double your depth in each of those, you would be staggered. Now, would you be staggered next week? Nope. But most people overestimate what they can do in a week, and they underestimate what they can do in a year. They overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. And as things get crazier, we need to deepen. I think of it's the old story about Martin Luther. And I've heard this with a few people, so it may be apocryphal, but Martin Luther is the earliest version of it I heard. So he had an important envoy coming from the church, from some messenger, and a really big important meeting. And it was just a busy day. There was a lot happening. And he was speaking to his assistant, or executive assistant. I don't know what they called them in the church in those days, but assistant. He normally would spend an hour a day in the morning in prayer. And his assistant said, well, it's such a busy day. I guess only half an hour, or for tomorrow, it's so busy, only half an hour in prayer. He said, no, tomorrow is so busy and so important. I'll spend 2 hours in prayer. That's the attitude. When it's important, when it really matters, we deepen. Stephen Covey had that beautiful analogy about sharpening the saw, the contest of 2 people cutting down trees. And one goes really far ahead, but the other one, every hour, disappears for 10 minutes and then comes back. And so he's taking a 10-minute break, and this other guy's just getting way ahead of him in that 10 minutes. But by the end of the day, the guy who's vanishing for 10 minutes, he wins. And he asked him, what were you doing when you would disappear like that? He said, I was sharpening my saw. We've got to take time for that to sharpen the saw. We've got to take time to reflect, to deepen, the principle and the practice of the Sabbath. It's really wise. Taking time to disconnect from the mayhem, to deepen in our spiritual practice. So, where do you need to deepen, given the times that we're in? Let's not pretend we're not in the times we're in. Let's not pretend that we're not, things aren't going crazy, and about to get much crazier. If you've got your ear to the ground, you're paying attention to the signs of the time. You know what I'm talking about. So there you go. I won't repeat myself anymore. Hopefully that's helpful. Thanks for watching this video. If you would like to deepen your relationship to me, you can hit the red subscribe button and then the little bell icon notify you when I've got new videos. And you can hit the little thumbs up. It helps the people find these videos. And of course, marketingforbs.com is my website. You can check that out. I'm on Facebook. Find me there. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I do read them all. And if you have any questions, maybe it'll turn into another video that I do. So that's all for today. Thanks so much, everyone.